Hey, it's Clay, CPAP My Way, CPAPMyWay.com. Today I am here to introduce a new CPAP battery that we are carrying. This is the NiteOwl CPAP battery, and in this video I'm going to do a quick run through on just the overall specifications of it so you get an idea of size, weight, all that kind of stuff. How to hook it up to your CPAP, I'll demo it on the more popular ResMed CPAPs, and then I'm going to give you my rundown on pros and cons and things you're going to want to keep in mind if you're considering this battery. If you are considering a battery in general, definitely want to pay attention to this video. This is a definite top choice for people out there that are looking for either backup power or being able to get off the grid and use CPAP. So don't forget, if you enjoyed the information, please hit us with a thumbs up, comment with any questions or add-ins or experience. We love that. And then subscribe if you want some more. Let's jump right in. All right, so first thing, the NiteOwl battery is about 7.5 inches long, just under 5 inches wide, and just under an inch thick. It weighs just over 1.5 pounds. I think it's 1.7 pounds to be exact. So, you know, it's a lithium-ion battery. It's got some weight, but it's not crazy as far as dimensions. And if you wanted to slip it in a bag, taking it with you, you may not even notice it's there, and it would slip very easily into like a travel case for your CPAP. As far as the duration of the battery goes, you're looking at about 1 to 3 nights, depending on your CPAP and your CPAP settings. For instance, on like this AirSense 11, you're gonna get 1 to 2 nights. On the Air Mini, you'd get probably 2 to 3 nights. We've had many people use it that get a full 3 nights of use on the Air Mini, which is kind of cool. As far as cycles for this battery, how many times you can charge and discharge the unit, you're looking at 500 cycles. So 500 cycles is a lot of cycles, so I doubt that you're going to see the end of that for sure. It recharges in about 2 to 3 hours from completely dead, and it does recharge with the cord from your CPAP. So I'll demo that when we hook them up here in a minute. That's kind of a really cool feature about this. And it runs a 12 to 24 volt output, so it makes it a more universal fit, which is great because that output allows you to use it for like a home unit. Maybe you got a dream station at home and maybe you're using the Air Mini on the road. And it'll work for both of those machines right out of the box. So let's hook it up and show you how this thing works. All right, before I actually hook it up to the CPAP, I just want to show you what comes with the battery. In the box here, it's got the universal cord connections. You first unpack it, it can seem a little overwhelming because you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cords that come with the machine. Most of which, if you're just using it for one CPAP, you're not going to use, right? Because each of these cords will attach to a particular CPAP or are needed in a certain manner. Of course, you're also going to have you know, your instructions that come along with it here. If you are using an AirSense 11, I want you to pay attention to the end of this video because I'm going to show you something very important about the way that hooks up to the battery. But the battery can be used in 2 different ways. It can be used in line as a backup power supply. So that means you're going to basically run the electricity through the battery to the CPAP. And in the event of a power outage, bang, the CPAP battery NiteOwl here kicks in and takes over. You won't even notice that the power's gone out. Your machine will just keep on running until the power comes back on, in which it'll start recharging the battery and running your CPAP again. The other way that you can hook it up is obviously as the battery as the lone power source, and that would be like if you're going to use it on a plane, which it is. It does meet the FAA criteria, or if you're going camping or something like that, I'll show you that as well. So I'm going to show you first of all how it would work with your AirSense 10 here. So this is the ResMed AirSense 10. I'm going to plug it in as if it were just running at the house. All right. So when I unpacked the battery, you will have noticed there was no charging cord for the battery. That is because you will use the power cord from your CPAP to charge and to use the battery. So the power cord just plugs in right there. All right, and then you'll notice this one's actually fully charged, but that it actually accepted the power supply. Then you're going to grab the appropriate cord, right? So they're all labeled, which is nice, right? It says for AirSense 10, right? Or A10, you'll see it there, 24 volt. And what you'll do next is take the little USB port there, Type C, I think you'd call that, and plug it into the DC out. And then now you've got the exact same connector as you do for the power cord on the AirSense 10, and you'll just hook it up just like that. And so now, you notice the machine fires up here, and it's as if it is just going to run off of its own power cord, except that the electricity is flowing through the battery, and in the event of a power outage, like this, the machine stays powered on, right? We could fire it up, let it run. Remember, we unplugged it, so it's not plugged into the wall. The battery has taken over, and the AirSense 10 is running just fine. When the power's back on, it will continue to recharge the battery as well as run the machine. So that's how you would use it in a backup mode, right? So you'd probably slip this behind your nightstand somewhere. It's got a cord that's plenty long here to maybe set it down behind your nightstand or underneath your nightstand, and use it in line. So if you ever have a power outage or a storm comes through in the middle of the night, you won't even notice. All right, so that's how you would hook it up with the AirSense 10. With the AirSense 11, it's a little different. If you've got the AirSense 11, you know it's got a much different cord than what you would plug into the front of the battery here, right? There's no possible way that's hooking up. However, it comes with the Air Mini, it says, charging cable, right? So this one actually works for the Air Mini or your AirSense 10. And what you'll do is you'll just connect the male portion of your AirSense 11 power cord or Air Mini power cord, because they have the same exact hookups. And then you will connect that into the DC in port on the NiteOwl. You just have to remember that you have to use this little adapter for the AirSense 11 or Air Mini. And then of course you would use the AirSense 11 or Air Mini attachment to run those devices. So I'll show you how that would work. For the Air Mini here, all you would do is use the exact same hookup, plug it in, and it's ready to rock and roll. So if you were going to pick a battery for your Air Mini here, this battery is probably going to get you at least 2 nights, if not 3 nights, and it runs really, really well with the Air Mini specifically. So it's humming right along right now. Of course, it will also work perfectly fine for the AirSense 11 here. I'll plug that one in. Once again, you use the cord that says for ResMed A11, Air Mini 24 volt, and then it just plugs right into the back. It's the exact same cord for the Air Mini or the AirSense 11. And remember, it controls the voltage, so you don't have to do anything on your own, and this machine's ready to fire up and rock and roll. If you disable the humidifier on the AirSense 11, you're probably going to get about 2 nights out of it, depending on your settings. If your settings are really high, that may not be the case, but if you're in moderate settings, you should get a couple of nights on the NiteOwl here. All right, so on the pro side of things for the NiteOwl, the biggest thing I like about it is that it comes right out of the box, ready to fit any ResMed or Philips Respironic machine. So you don't have to guess whether or not you've got the right attachments or anything like that. It'll fit the AirSense 10, 11, Air Mini, DreamStation 1 or 2, or even an older System 1, which is nice. So no guesswork, it's going to hook up and it's going to work. The other really cool thing about it is it stays in DC, which means that it doesn't have to change to AC electricity and then back to DC electricity through the converter box on the machine. It just runs straight DC electricity into the machine, which gives you a lot more longevity. Third thing I really like about it is that it works as a backup power supply. So it's not just a battery to use when you're on a trip or if you're camping or off the grid somewhere. This thing has real world day in and day out applications. If you lose power in the middle of the night, the battery takes over, you continue breathing. Fourth thing I really like about it is the USB outlet. So you can have your machine running off of it as well as charging your iPhone. If you wanted to be off the grid, it'll do 2 things for you at once. And the last thing I really like about it is that you can use it on a plane. So if you're one of those people that's doing red eyes or doing trips over the pond, it's nice to be able to go to sleep without snoring the entire plane into a frenzy. So it does work really well on a plane, and it'll definitely get you through that flight using your CPAP. The only drawback I have on this, and it's just versus a couple of the other batteries that are out there, is that it doesn't give you the AC electricity option. So like a regular 110 wall plug, some of them have it built into it. So that if you were going to use it on a different device. Maybe you're out tailgating and you wanted to plug in a TV for a couple hours or something. Can't do that with this without the inverter adapter. So honestly, if you're using it for just CPAP use, it's really not a drawback at all, because it's going to work incredibly well for that. So if you like the info, we'd really appreciate the thumbs up. Subscribe if you want more content like this. Comment with any questions or things you might like me to expand on. And I'm really appreciative of you watching. Thanks.